eyeliner or no? No, absolutely not.
No stinking eyeliner.
No.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be doing something a little bit different and fun. I'm super excited about this one. Who is James Spann? If you clicked on this video and you're not from Alabama, you probably have no idea. If you clicked on this video and you're not from Alabama, you might have an idea, because James Spann hung the moon. Just saying. So James Spann is a weatherman for Alabama, and he is literally the most well-known, well-liked weatherman from Alabama. So I've seen so many videos going around of, you know, such and such shows my makeup, or this person does my makeup, or this person picked my makeup, or anything like that. So I was in the mall the other day, and I love James Spann. Love James Spann. My husband knows that. He's like, you know, if bad weather's coming or bad weather's not coming, I'll be like, have you seen the news? Like, did you see what James Spann said? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, James Spann, James Spann, James Spann. Marsha. And so, anyway, we were in the mall shopping. My dad and stepmom were getting my daughter some clothes for school. They want to take her shopping, so we were shopping for my son while they did that. And I looked over and I was like, is that James Spann? My husband was like, oh God, yes. So I was like, oh my God. And like my mind just instantly went to, what if James Spann chose my makeup? Which is so random. I don't know why. That's just how my mind processes nowadays. So I was like, oh my God, let me get a list out. And I did. I pulled out my phone. I don't even know where my phone is. Right here. I pulled out my phone and I was like, okay. I was doing a bunch of like either ors. Either this foundation or this foundation. And this blush or this blush. And yada 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 yada. And so I made a list for him, and then I was like, I'm standing in line because there's a long line of people, because you have to understand, James Spann is the weatherman from Alabama, and he's in Gadsden, Alabama, which is not a large town in Alabama. So he's in Gadsden, Alabama at the mall, and I'm just like, everybody's like, James Spann, James Spann. He was selling his book called Weathering Life, and we bought that, and I'm excited to read it, so insert Weathering Life. So, anyways, we get in line, and as I'm sitting there thinking, I have my list, and I'm like, wait a minute. What if he's like, because I've never met him before, like, you know, and I was like, what if he won't do this? Like, or what if, like, he's like, no, like, there's a long line behind you, quit being rude. And the thing is, if he would have said that, I would have been like, you're right, okay. And then I would have walked away. But, so I get up there, and, my husband buys the book, and I get him to sign the book, and I was like, I have a special request.
And I was wondering if I could do a James Spann picks my makeup and you select out this makeup.
Whatever you want.
And I was like, so anyways, so here I have my list, and I'm going to insert video. My husband recorded it all just so that you guys didn't think I just like randomly picked some makeup and just said James Spann picked it. So I'm going to insert the clips as we go where he selected my makeup. Now, in the clips, there's one or two where you can just hear him say eyeshadow. So I just tell you the one he picked. Then there's one, because there's people all around us. We're in the mall, and it's the weekend before school starts, so it was busy. And then there was one part where he picks mascara, and when he right before that question came up for me to ask him, somebody called my husband, and so that piece is clipped out. They called him, and he immediately declined it and started recording him, but he completely missed that one question. But for the most part, it's all recorded. So
click that subscribe button, turn notification, give me a huge thumbs up.
I asked him if he would rather do Born This Way foundation or Urban Decay Stay Naked.
Born This Way.
And he chose Born This Way. So that's what we're going to start with. First, we're going to prime the skin, but I'm going in with the Tarte Silk Canvas. And we're going to put this all over the face and just prime it just like you would a paint job. But before this, I just washed my face and used a toner that I have become obsessed with. Stay tuned for a future video with that. I'll be doing a video of skincare and hair care products that actually work, because I don't know about y'all, but like when I see skincare and hair care products, I always think they're gimmicks because 9 times out of 10, they don't work that well, or they all work the same. Like, there's nothing special about that product. So recently, I've dipped into some products that actually work. When I say recently, I mean like within the past like probably few months. And I've found some that actually work. We're going to go in with this Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. I use it every time. I just use this to fill in my pores and my forehead wrinkles. But nothing ever actually works that well. But I have literally got a collection of stuff that actually works. I have a few hair care items and lots of skincare. So I'm super excited to share that with you guys because I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Some are inexpensive and some are free. Or one of them's free. So I'm excited to try that out. Okay, so we are primed. Our pores are filled. Okay, so for the Born This Way foundation, I actually really love this foundation. So I have the color Sand and I have the color Light Beige. This is my like really tan summer color, and this is my like winterish shade, or like in like fall shade, I guess. So I'm going to mix the two together to create my shade. Okay, so I'm just going to clip my hair back and get it out of my face so we don't have any foundation hair, which I always end up with anyways. But hey, no earrings. My ears look so weird. Okay. So I really, really, really enjoy this foundation because it's meant for like more normal to dry skin, because it's said to be a luminous foundation, and I do find, you know, towards the end of the day that I do get a bit dewy. I wouldn't say like to the point that I look oily, but I do get a bit dewy. I feel like I may have gotten this a tad too light. Maybe I have more sun on my face than I thought. But that's okay. It'll dry down and we'll add some bronzer. It doesn't really oxidize, so that's very fortunate because I hate it when products oxidize. But it's also unfortunate for right now because just a shade off. We're actually going to add a drop or two of the darker one and blend it. Okay, so I just added like just a tad of that darker shade. I'm just kind of laying it over the lighter shade, and it's helping a little. Okay, so now that our foundation is on, we asked James Spann if he would like to do Tarte Concealer or Believe Beauty. So I said Tarte Concealer or Believe Beauty. He said definitely the concealer.
Tarte Concealer or Believe Beauty?
The concealer for sure.
Yeah, right.
So Tarte is the only one that had the word concealer in it. So we are going to go with the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral. Typically I'd probably be medium at this point, but my medium has begun running out. So when the Tarte Shape Tape gets low, I've noticed that it'll pick up my mirrors over here. So if you see me looking, that's what that is. But typically when the Tarte Shape Tape starts getting low, because the doe foot applicator is so big, it starts picking up the foundation underneath. So we don't want to do that. I'm going in with a different sponge. This is the Eco Tools Beauty Sponge. I really enjoy this sponge when it comes to blending out concealer because of that flat edge. When I go to blend out underneath my eye, it's super easy to do so. Okay, so now that we're good and highlighted, I need some color back to my face. But first we have to set and bake, and I asked James Spann if he would like to use the Fenty Beauty powder or the Coty Airspun powder.
Okay, so do you want Fenty powder or Coty Airspun?
You thought about that, did you?
More thunderstorms. I'll take the powder. How about that?
The Fenty,
Yeah.
okay.
And he chose Fenty. So I'm just going to blend out any creases I could have. And I'm going to pick up this Morphe R3 brush. It looks like this. I'm just going to dip into this Fenty The Fenty powder tends to be just a tad heavy. I'm creasing under the eye for some reason. I don't typically bring my foundation all the way up under my eye, so that could be why I'm creasing. But let's hurry up and set it so it'll stop. But the Fenty Beauty powder, I have the shade Butter, and it's a perfect shade for me. She has several different shades, so I always set with this brush first and just get everything like good and powdered. But no matter what, you always want to blend out your creases before you go in and set, because if there's creases, like if I were to go ahead and set my forehead as it was creasing just then that's exactly what my makeup would have looked like. It would have set those creases exactly how they were. So I'm just going to go in really good. I don't even know if I showed you guys this Fenty powder, but I will. And now I'm going to go in and bake now that everything's good and set. And then after I get this on here, I will show you guys this powder. Now, I love using this powder because it literally, y'all, smells like heaven. And I've seen people review this powder before and say that's the one thing that they wish they could change about it, is the smell. And honey, when I gotta bake, you know, I'm crease central, so that's the one thing I was nervous about, because smells can make me sick. Okay, did I just bake my whole face? I feel like let's just set with the excess. But it's like, I literally wish that I could find a perfume that smelled just like this. So if you guys have any suggestions on a perfume that smells exactly like the Fenty Pro Filter setting powder, I'm all ears. Oh, that was a terrible mistake. Terrible mistake. But here's what the Fenty powder looks like. I just want to make sure you guys know that that is what I was using. Fenty Pro Filter Butter. So yeah, there's powder everywhere. Fantastic. So if I ever want to, if I ever know that I'm going to either be out in the heat, or if I'm going to be wearing this makeup for a long time, especially if I'm using the Born This Way foundation, just because it is meant for more normal to dry skin and I have oily skin. But I like a dewy finish, so I'm like, not a dewy finish, but like a satin, I guess, type finish. So I do love using this foundation, but like I said, I still have to control my oil so it doesn't start separating, so I really bake my face. Okay, so now that this has been on here for just a few minutes, I'm just going to go ahead and dust it off. Really good. Always dust off all the areas, for other areas first before my eyes, just because I really want to bake under my eyes, you know what I'm saying? So now that we are good and airbrushed and super flat, I'm actually going to go ahead and throw on some bronzer off camera, because that is something that I forgot to ask him, was bronzer. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm actually going to go in with the shade Laguna from NARS, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that we are good and bronzed and contoured, we are going to go in with blush. So I asked James Spann if he would want me to use the NARS Orgasm blush or the Milani blush.
Oh, NARS blush would be fine.
Milani.
Absolutely.
And he chose Milani. Smart man. So Milani has several different blush formulas. I did not specify, so I chose the Milani Baked Blush in the Baked Powder Blush in the shade Rose d'Ora. And I love this blush. It is like a perfect, like, peachy rosy shade with a little hint of, like, sheen to it, with, like, golden sheen. It is so pretty. So, good choice, James Spann. Like, look at that. Look how pretty. And I don't mind to be a little more, like, heavy-handed and sloppy with this blush because it does have that sheen to it. I don't know if you guys can really see. It's not even enough to call highlight, I would say. It's just a sheen, and I love it. It adds like a perfect little glow. Next up, I asked James if he would like me to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter or Morphe highlight.
Anastasia highlighter or Morphe.
And he chose Morphe. So we're going to go in with the Morphe X Bretman Rock. I don't know if you guys remember this palette with Bretman Rock and Morphe. But these are gorgeous shades, and I don't even know why they're not talked about anymore. I mean, I get it because I completely forgot about them until the other day. I used this Vacation one and mixed it with Get Laid, and it was gorgeous highlight. So I'm going in with my Morphe M510 brush, and we're just going to place it right there on the cheekbones. Like, I literally didn't realize, like, just how, like, perfect these shades are for my summer skin tone. So I was good with it. I love my Amrezy highlighter, but I was good with the Morphe. So I'm just like mixing Get Laid and Vacation together. But if this is not like the most gorgeous highlight, it's so pretty. It melts so pretty in the skin, and it's not too much. Like, you don't get stripes, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna put some right there on the tip of the nose and right there on the Cupid's bow. And I'm actually going to go in with that Vacation and just kind of dust some on my chin. And then just a little bit on my forehead area right here. Just to give like that glow from within in case we do completely control all the oils all day. Probably won't happen. But I like to give my skin that glow before 4 hours from now. Because you can always touch up. Okay, so now that we are pretty much done with all the face powders, I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I did not have him pick a setting spray. Like I said, it was a very like on the spot moment. So first I'm going to go in with this, I'm going to shake it up, this Max Fix Plus Matte. Just going to spray a little bit on there at this point in my face to control any oils underneath. And then at the end, right before I do my mascara, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Dewy Set. Okay, so now that my face is completely set, I'm actually going to zoom you guys in just a tad for the eyes and lip portion. But I am going to go ahead and pop on my eyebrows off camera because that is another one that we forgot. Okay, so now that you guys are zoomed in and my brows are on and set, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Gel in the shade, Dipbrow Pomade in the shade Ebony. And then I set my brows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Those have been my go-to lately. I know for a long time I said I was like not into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade just because it seemed to make my eyebrows really waxy and stiff or like gooey, I don't know. But I realized that it was user error. Okay, so the next thing that I asked James was what eyeshadow he wanted me to use. I asked him whether he wanted me to use Kylie Jenner eyeshadow or Juvia's Place.
Kylie Jenner eyeshadow or Juvia's Place?
The eyeshadow.
And how old is
And he chose Kylie Jenner. So the only palette that I know that I have, I don't know why, like these are things like that I don't use often. I tried my best to pick things that I don't use a whole bunch for him to choose from. Some of them I was like, it was the quickest thing I could think of, so we went with it. But I still chose things like the Morphe highlighter, the Born This Way foundation, even though I love that foundation, I haven't used it a lot lately. Just different things like that. So I did try to throw in some things that I don't normally use, and I don't normally use Kylie or Juvia's Place. So we're going to go in with Kylie's Holiday palette. It was the Naughty or Nice palette, and this one's Naughty palette and the Nice palette. This is the Nice palette. So this is what we were going to go in with. But first, I'm going to highlight the inner corner of my eye and my brow bone with that Morphe X Bretman Rock palette. I was going to wait till after I did my eyebrows to do that part. So I'm just going to pick up that shade Vacation again and just place it right there at the arch of my eyebrow to really just give that lift effect. And I always, no matter what, highlight the inner corner of my eye. Like, no matter what eye look I am doing, just because I like the way it brightens and opens up my eyes. So I'm actually going to dip into that Vacation again, and we're going to spritz it with a little bit of this Believe Beauty setting spray just to get it a little damp and make it a little more intense, and place it right there in the corner of my eye, like so. Okay, so now that we are completely highlighted, we're going to go in with this nice palette from Kylie Jenner. I'm going to go in with this Milani blush. It came in like this travel eye set, and I really like this one for blending out the crease. I'm going in with the shade Ginger Snap. It's like a mustard yellow shade. I will show you guys right there. And we're just going to do this for our transition. And I'm not even sure what eye look I'm going to do. My allergies have been slightly draining. And I noticed that a lot of people's are. I've heard some people say they've had colds. My kids have their drainage and a little bit of coughing. They don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. But it's just draining. And it's so weird being at the end of the summer right here. Or towards the end of summer. We're still in August, beginning of August. Okay, so now that I have my transition shade done, I'm actually going to go in with... This brush is like a tad bigger, which is kind of strange, but I really like it for like packing in the crease. Not packing, but like blending in the crease. This is the Morphe E23, and I'm going to go in with the shade Hot Cider, which is the shade right here. And I'm just going to blend that into the crease a little bit carelessly, just because it doesn't have to be perfect for this part. I think I'm just going to do an all over the lid smoky eye with that Hot Cider. I was going to say ginger. With that Hot Cider shade. So as you can tell, I was just kind of just placing it all in the crease, not really caring exactly where it went, but holding it below my brow bone. Now you'll notice as you watch me, or if you have been watching me, or if you followed me on my Facebook Lives, any of that, you'll notice that I am not one of those top-notch eyeshadow makeup artists, because everything that I do is just kind of sloppy and then it pieces together real nice at the end sometimes. But I don't do these fancy cut creases. Those, I don't. I think that if I applied myself, I could, but I don't apply myself when it comes to eyeshadow, because I'm satisfied with the looks I get quickly. So anything that I can do, you can do. So now I'm going to go in with this Luxie mini angled brush right here, and we're going to use this to kind of just pack in color on the outer corner and the inner corner. Maybe we'll just do like a halo eye for today. Okay, so now I'm just taking that same Hot Cider shade and just kind of, I'm using the same brush and just kind of smoking out below my eyes, because I did ask James, eyeliner or no eyeliner?
Eyeliner or no?
No.
No, absolutely
You mean no
not.
stinking eyeliner?
No.
So there's that. So I'm actually going to bring that Ginger Snap shade and just kind of dust it right below the Hot Cider shade, and then we're going to go back in with Hot Cider. I actually meant to put the Ginger Snap shade on first to kind of bring the top part of the eye together with the lower part. And now I'm going to go back in with that angle brush real carelessly and pick up Hot Cider. And so normally I would use my finger to kind of press it in, but since my nails are long, we're going to pick up a flat brush along with some setting spray to intensify it, and just pick up that shade Gumdrop. We may not need setting spray. It looks pretty good. Let's see. Oh yeah, you don't. That's pigmented. If we're just being real honest, this is the first time I've used this palette. And now I'm a little disappointed of how many awesome eye looks I've probably missed out on. because these are blending awesome and they're super, super pigmented. And again, James Spann said we don't need no stinking eyeliner, so we ain't gonna do eyeliner. But I did ask him Maybelline Mascara or Too Faced. I knew that he wasn't, you know, in with the makeup lingo, so I was afraid if I said Better Than Sex, he would look at me like, get out of here. So I just said Too Faced Mascara, and again, that was when my husband received a phone call, so I didn't get that part recorded, but he did select the Maybelline Mascara, followed by saying Maybelline makes fantastic makeup. So we're going to go in with the Maybelline Total Temptation Mascara, but first we are going to curl our lashes. Okay, so now that our lashes are curled, we are going to go in with this mascara. I'm going to use this mirror right here where I can barely see, and I've actually, what the heck, really been enjoying this mascara. I got it for a like first impressions try on haul, or my Ulta haul. That's what I got it for. My Ulta haul, I just grabbed a mascara that I had not tried yet because I have been using a certain product that really has made my lashes grow clearly. If you've been watching me for any length of time, you know my lashes have never been this long. So one layer is like beautiful and it doesn't like clump. So I usually let one layer dry, and again, stay tuned for my products that actually work because I'll be mentioning that in there. And I just do one layer on one eye, and then I go over to the next eye and do a layer over there while the other one dries. Okay, so I went ahead and threw on a second layer of the mascara and went ahead and did my lower lash line of mascara. And again, it actually doesn't look half bad without eyeliner. I thought I wouldn't like it with no eyeliner, but no stinking eyeliner. So next I asked James Spann if he would rather me use Smashbox liquid lipstick or Flower Beauty liquid lipstick.
Smashbox or Flower Beauty?
Flower Beauty.
Absolutely.
He chose Flower Beauty. So I am going to go in with the Flower Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Dark and Stormy. It's one of my favorite shades of liquid lipstick. Okay, so this is the shade Dark and Stormy by Flower Beauty. I feel like it goes well with what I'm wearing and my eyeshadow look, so good choice, James Spann. Something I did forget to do is spray my face with the Dewy Set by Anastasia Beverly Hills, so I'm going to do that really quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the completed look. I zoomed you guys out just a little bit so you could really get a good look at the full face. And I'm actually really loving today's makeup, so thumbs up, James Spann. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next one.